If you're looking for a really good touring bike, we've got the comparison for you. The BMW K1600 GTL versus the Royal Enfield Himalayan 450. For much the same sort of money, you'll get 6 cylinders, and if you add it all together, you'll get lots of power, lots of torque, and lots of capability. Of course, with the Himalayan 450, you'll have 6 motorcycles, and with the BMW, you'll only have 1, but you know, who's counting? These two bikes are amazingly adept at taking you across the countryside, and we've just spent 2 weeks riding the BMW across France and 2 weeks riding the Royal Enfield across India just before that, and so we thought we'd compare the two. The similarities between the Royal Enfield and the BMW are extensive. They both have 2 wheels, 2 seats, handlebars, 6-speed gearboxes, single shock rear suspension, fuel injection, ABS, digital instruments and a USB port, and navigation systems which run off your smartphone. BMW's gone a few steps further with the tech, of course, but I'll get to that later. We started with the Royal Enfield Himalayan 450, riding from Chennai to Goa through mountains, twisty blacktop, bumpy roads filled with buses, trucks and the occasional confused cow having an existential crisis in the middle of a highway. So why would any sane person buy a Royal Enfield Himalayan 450 for touring? You'd buy it because it's lightweight, you'd buy it because it's easy to ride, you'd buy it because it goes almost anywhere, even places maps forgot existed. But mostly, you'd buy it because it's very, very affordable. The K1600 GTL, on the other hand, offers more of just about everything. It's more comfortable, it offers more weather protection, it offers more performance, it offers more cylinders, it's much smoother, it carries a passenger far better, it has more luggage capacity, it has more entertainment, it has a bigger digital display, it has more technology in just about every respect, works beautifully on the roads it was designed for, the highways, back roads, the twisty mountain roads of Europe, the freeways of America and Australia. In these situations, it is superlatively comfortable, offers all the performance you could possibly need, sits there on the cruise control all day long, eating up the miles and playing your favourite tunes while it does it. This is a way different experience to what you get with the Himalayan 450. But is it better? Well, depends on your idea of a great ride. With the Himalayan 450, you get everything you need and pretty well nothing that you don't. It's a bike that can carry 2 people, can carry a load, helps you navigate, has a big enough fuel tank to get between service stations, is built to run on any road and maybe even some that aren't really roads at all, and yet will do all this at an affordable price, is very repairable, can be maintained by an owner with a decent toolkit and a little bit of intelligence, and looks pretty good too. So why wouldn't you want a Himalayan 450? And now for the Cycle Talk category prizes, where we decide which bike is better at what. Let's start with performance. Which bike offers the best all-round performance? Drum roll, please. It's the BMW. With 6 cylinders, 160 horsepower and 180 Newton meters of torque, the K1600 offers all the performance you need and more. Next, it's the Rough Road Handling Award, which goes to the Himalayan, with its longer travel suspension, adventure bike wheels, and being half the weight of the GTL makes it a winner when the surface gets loose. And partly because if you ride your GTL on dirt roads, you're probably somewhat crazy. Moving on to the 2-up suitability, and yes, it's a tie. Yes, the GTL wins on seat comfort, space, luggage capacity and top case padding, but the Himalayan hits back with its suitability in tough conditions, robust aluminium panniers and simple design. Actually, we're kidding. A pillion will almost always enjoy a ride on the GTL more than a ride on the Himalayan, unless they like riding off-road.
The Royal Enfield Himalayan 450 and the BMW K1600 GTL. They're both motorbikes. From a pillion's perspective, what can I say except same but different?
Actually, my lovely pillion passenger is quite wrong. The Royal Enfield Himalayan 450, equipped with the optional panniers and top case, has a capacity of about 90 litres, which is less than 2/3 of the 155 that the BMW will carry. And from a weight perspective, the Royal Enfield's recommended maximum weight for each of the 3 boxes is 5 kilos of luggage, which is about half of what you can carry on the BMW. There are little hooks on the aluminium panniers and top case of the Royal Enfield for adding a little bit of extra luggage through some straps, but the BMW's beautiful plastic boxes are not suitable to adding extra luggage.
When you're a pillion travelling with a photojournalist who needs so much space for all of his gear, his cameras, his drones, his laptops, you are constrained to one pannier. How's a girl meant to pack 6 pairs of shoes with one pannier, let alone all of her toiletries and her changes of clothes and her hairbrushes and... Truth is, when you're travelling on a motorcycle, you got to go light, ladies. So, one pannier, maybe a teensy bit of a top box. I had a wonderful time riding 2 weeks around India. I had a wonderful time riding 2 weeks around France on 2 very different motorcycles. All I can say, girls, is get on and go.
Which bike is better? Which one wins the comparison? I'm not going to answer that. There's no winner here. It's like asking what's better, a tuxedo or a swimsuit. It completely depends on where you're going. These bikes are built for completely different adventures, even if they both fall under the big happy umbrella of touring. The Himalayan is for when you want to get lost, and the K1600 GTL is for when you want to get lost, but with heated grips and a banging stereo. If you can afford a GTL, you should probably buy a Himalayan too. It's like having a second, slightly more adventurous personality. The GTL is for the freeway, and the Himalayan is for when the freeway runs out and turns into a dusty goat track. But if you live somewhere that's beautiful, has smooth roads and no goat tracks, well, then the GTL, that's your chariot. You'd be miserable trying to cross Europe on a Himalayan, well, unless you were really doing it quite slowly. The roads are beautiful, the speeds are high, and you'd be wishing for a screen and some fairings in about 5 minutes. I guess what I'm trying to say is there are many ways to ride long distances. You can do it with all the comforts of a luxury car. You can do it with a more rugged, back to basics approach. And to be honest, if you've never toured on an adventure bike on a dirt road, you're missing out. Our trip through India was a blast, and while the roads weren't exactly challenging in the adventure bike sense, a GTL wouldn't have survived, and we didn't see anything even close. The Himalayan was absolutely in its element. So here's my advice. If you ride one, think about the other. They're both wonderful in their own way. For the price of a brand new GTL, you could buy a few Himalayans, or you could buy a used GTL and a brand new Himalayan and have the best of both worlds. Or you could just fly to India, rent a Himalayan and have a once-in-a-lifetime adventure. Then you could fly to Europe, rent a GTL, go on a tour and have a once-in-a-lifetime adventure. Great tours can be had on almost any type of motorcycle. These two are just at opposite ends of the touring spectrum, proving that no matter how you ride, there's a bike out there that's perfect for your journey.